Oh, before I go, last chance. Today is Thursday, so if anybody wants to get in for tomorrow's video, I haven't gotten a lot of stuff yet, so it may be just, I think I've got some mail coming either today or tomorrow that I'm gonna open up, so it might be a mail call day. But yeah, send me some pictures, send me some goodies, and we'll get that shown for you. All right, thanks guys. All right, so today is the day I start on the MLCCs. Now we're just gonna do a test batch here. So depending on how much it weighs with how much we have in here, we may go a little more, we may go a little less than 100, we may do 200. So let's see what we got. It's a pretty good amount. Let's go 200. Oh, can't do 200. All right, let's pour this in here and see where we're at for our weight, or at least the... Okay, so we're not even close to the max amount on here. So let's do 200. Of MLCCs. All right, well, let's grind these bad boys up and stick them in some nitric. Quite a bit of full in contact ones yet, but there's a lot of dust and a lot of powder. All right, so let's keep grinding that. I still see some issues here. I don't like how some of that's broken up. So I don't think this is going to work as well as it did for the other stuff. All right, so back at it here. We go outside for this part. What I'm going to do is, I've got a strainer from my gold panning. I'm going to strain out the small stuff, and then I'm going to go ahead and crush the big stuff up here. And, well, attempt to anyways. I think I'm going to get a bigger apparatus to put this stuff in, because I think I'm going to lose some. I don't think this is much bigger, but we're going to give her a shot anyways. Oh yeah, we can at least get some back and forth motion. Alright, I'm going to stand upwind of, upwind of this. We'll start with just a little bit. There's some tiny little ones in there that probably, yeah, I probably should grind all this stuff up. That's what I should do. Alright, well, we'll start with this. See how this works. Alright, well, that's going to take a little while. So the ends aren't going to crush because those are metal. But the ceramic on the inside does seem to crush up fairly well with that. So I can't say I got all of them, but you definitely don't want to overload your was that mortar and Well, I don't know. You don't want to overload this guy here because they seem to squish on each other. So just put a little bit in there at a time. So this is going to take a little while, but I'm going to go ahead do the rest of this stuff here, and then I'll bring you back in when I'm all said and done. All right, back in the lab, got everything ground up. Yeah, let me get you in for a close call. Well, close view anyway. So I've got the majority of them ground up. That took quite some time. There may be a couple in there that are still kind of together, but I think I definitely have to come up with a better method to do that, because the coffee grinder is a no-go. I mean, it kind of worked. Maybe I put too much in, so next time I'll put little bits in at a time instead of just the full amount. Grinding them up did work, but it didn't really like the grinding motion. It liked the crushing motion. So if I like kind of stomped on it, it worked perfect, crushed them up. But that fine particulate down there, I am not 100% sure what that is. So I don't want to get rid of it. So I'm going to try and refine everything right now. I am going to do a smaller batch of 100 grams, and I want to test just that dust alone. So I've got a couple of, oh boy, here we go, sifters. There it is, from Gold Refining. And I want to see if I can get just that dust, refine just the dust. I imagine it's ceramic and, you know, it's completely useless. But I don't know, and I don't want to just go throwing away stuff with gravity separations or the sluice or sifting it away. So this go around, we're just going to do everything and see what we can get. Next go around will be a little smaller batch because crushing it is not the most fun. But what I want to try is crush it. Some of the turns it turns to dust. Then I can sift it off, crush it again, because that dust kind of acts as like an absorber for the pedestal, and it doesn't allow for some of them to crack. So something I want to play with in the next go around. But I think I've got it to a point where we can refine it. So I picked up some more distilled water, so we're back in action here. Go ahead and dump a little bit in there, basically just enough to keep everything saturated. And I am not going to just go ahead and put 200 milliliters of nitric in like I did last time with those shunts. So let me get my gloves on here. And I think we're just going to microdose this. So there's a bunch of tin in there. There's no question about that. But I think we're going to end up in the same scenario with those shunts. I believe it's going to be a very similar refining. Because there isn't any gold. There's just palladium, possibly palladium, and possible silver, which will both dissolve in nitric. The tin will be able to be filtered out, so we don't have to use hydrochloric acid and then risk not rinsing it enough to get our silver chloride out too early. Eventually we're going to do silver chloride, but I do not want any silver chloride until I've got all of this stuff out and ready to roll. I've also got new gloves ordered, so this is going to be the last refine with these gloves. So we know that, well, we know that there's a chance that there's palladium in here. And palladium is super dangerous, so this is going to be the last refining for these gloves, just so I don't touch anything and get it on my skin. I don't want anything to do with that. So let's go ahead, get some nitric in this bad boy. All right. Start with 3. 6 and 9, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do. And that even might be a little too much. I just know that we had to add a lot of distilled water, and that only 3 milliliters would not be good. Alright, had to clean my stir rod up, and we're just going to go ahead and make sure everything is nice mixed around and has a... Ooh, look at how nasty and foamy that is. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. Yeah, that's almost like cement. Yum. Let's get that back down in there. Get this up on the heat. And we need a top. Alright. Well, I'll keep you posted on it. We'll get back when the nitric is done. You know, it might not take very long for that little bit of nitric to go, because there's quite a bit of material in there, so it'd be interesting to see. Alright. I'd have to say that this reaction is done and over with. I'm going to see if I can get some of that that powder that's on the outside of the beaker back into solution there, just in case we have any precious metals hanging out in there. Might have to refill my squirt bottle. We'll find out here in a second. You can do it. We're halfway there. There it is. There it is. All right. I'll have that filled up before next time, so you don't have to watch me struggle. All right. Let me grab some nitric. See what we got, if we got any reaction right off the bat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got reaction. Just start with 6. Alright, we'll let that nitric eat. And we just clean the sides of that off. Kind of figured that was going to happen though. Especially with the how hot the solution was. Alright, well, I'll get back to you after this nitric bath is done. Alright, we're back. And it looks like our reaction is done. We're boiling. And I imagine that silica is creating this like cement effect, and which is why we've got all the bubbles. But I'm not sure yet. So we're going to do another experiment with this. Like I said, where we separate that silica, and then process it just to make sure that we're not throwing away any precious metals. Because if I can make the bigger batch of what I got left over, not do that, I think we'd be smooth sailing. So we'll do a couple little experiments just to test it. But it looks like we need some more nitric. So let me get my gloves on. Play with fate a little bit. Let's do it. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be quite alright. There we go. All right. Well, let's let that nitric heat. I'm gonna babysit that for a second. She's a little aggressive, but nothing we can't handle. She hasn't flared up now. I imagine we'll be safe, but who knows with this kind of stuff. You get delayed reactions because all of a sudden it sees something underneath that's dissolved and decides to go haywire. You can't get too complacent with this stuff because it will definitely teach you a lesson. There's no question about that. Alright. Well, let's let it do a thing. Alright, this reaction is done. Time for some more. She's still eating. Well, I didn't hit the record button hard enough, so I added a little bit more distilled water because we were kind of boiling it down for a little while and I wasn't happy with the amount we have. So anyways, I put a little bit more distilled in there and I want to stir this up a bit. Alright, well, let's let that nitric heat. I'll come down and check on it here in a little bit just to verify that we actually have some kind of reaction going. And if I see some fumes going, we know we still have metals to dissolve. And I'll go ahead and add a little bit more. Until then. Alright, we're back at the MLCCs. I'm going to go ahead and put some more nitric in there. It's pretty thirsty. I suppose there's a lot of tin we got to dissolve. Let's check this out a little bit. So we got a nice color. It's always a good sign. Pretty transparent. I might have to make sure I stir this a little more often because the stuff at the bottom gets pretty solid. So I'll make sure I do that in the next one, especially when we get into the bigger stuff here. I can tell you it's going to be a fun one to filter. Actually, it won't be too bad. Just decant the good clean stuff off, and then go after the mud at the bottom. Nothing we haven't done before, huh? Put that in the wrong spot last night. So we got 6, and then we're gonna go with 9 here. Let's see, put that back where it's supposed to go. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Alright, well, I guess we'll continue that. The next couple ads, I'm not going to do too much talking in. Or clips, not ads. The next couple of clips, I'm not going to do too much talking. What I'll do is just fast forward it, because I imagine we got a little ways to go, and, well, you don't need to see me put a bunch of stuff in real time. So, alright, there we go. Alright, we're back in business. I think we're done with the nitric. There was not much reaction with what I put in there. I am concerned that on the bottom layer that there might be some precious metals in there still. So I think I'm going to do is pour this off. I'm going to try and break everything up down there, and I'm going to pour this solution back in there because there is nitric left over. There's no question about that. So we should be able to dissolve all that fun stuff on the bottom. So that, I mean, that'll be a good indication if we get fumes right off the bat. Oh, we still have some precious metals down there that need to get eaten up. So let me do a little setup. We'll get everything ready for that, and then we'll move forward. All right. So before I filter this, I'm just going to see if I can get that bottom broken up enough. So I lied. I am going to let that heat up a little bit. So some of that cement that kind of formed on the bottom had a little green tint to it. So I want to make sure that I'm pulling all of that off of there, because I imagine that that those colors are going to hold on to some precious metals. So I want to make sure that I can get them all saturated, at least sucked off of those, so that I can, when I filter this out, that I'm getting, you know, the majority of the metals we're looking for. And I may try to clean it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get that far. We'll let this run for a little bit, and with the heat, see if we can absorb anything else with some fresh distilled water in there. I'll filter it out. I don't see too much reaction going on, so I think we're okay. I think we've dissolved everything, and now it's just cleaning it up so we can get to it. That's going to be fun. All right. Well, my solution has cooled down a bit, and it's actually started to settle, so that's nice. See if we can do this little bits at a time here. I imagine this is going to take, here, let me get a better view here. I imagine this is going to take multiple filterings. So we'll get all the liquid off, and there's everything we got to deal with yet. I might introduce some more distilled water to this, let it heat up, boil some more, because there's still some, I don't know if you can see it in here. Let me get out of the light maybe. You can see how some of that stuff is kind of stained green. It was trapped on the bottom, so you can see here. So we may have to do a couple of runs at that, or I can pour warm water over it, see if we can rinse it off clear enough. Let's see. Stuff is like cement. We're gonna do one more boil on it. See if I can absorb any of those colors. Because I know that's, if it's green, it's got copper. Well, if it's got copper, it's got possible palladium and possible silver in it. And that's what we're after. So that's going to be a fun one. And as you can see, we're already down dang near to a drip at a time. So this is going to take quite some time. Alright, so it doesn't look terrible for the first filtration anyways. It's pretty nasty. Filter probably could have been done a little better, but we had seal. I'll readjust it for the last filtration. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put that in a separate beaker for now. And in the meantime, I'm going to reuse that filter. No sense of plugging another one up. Grab some distilled water. Stir this up best as possible. See if we can get as much of that in the water column as possible. Alright. We're just gonna kind of help this along because this is, like I said, dang near concrete. Here, I gotta get a better view of this. You can't see anything up there. There we go. Alright, and I'm gonna try and clean this beaker out. We're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of distilled water in there. Put that up on the hot plate. And we're gonna boil that for a minute. See if we can get the steam to loosen the stuff up off the sides. And then we'll go ahead and filter that once we can get that the sides of that cleaned up. Hopefully that works anyway. We'll find out here in a minute. Alright. Well, we finally got this all filtered out. Let's see here. I don't think we picked up any color from the boiling water in the beaker here. Let me grab that quick. Just get my gloves on. Yeah, the phone doesn't like to start and stop with them on, so there's always that brief second. So I don't think we picked up some color. I mean brown. Nothing crazy. I mean, we might as well throw that in there. I'm curious if the stuff on the top kind of softened up, because that's the nasty part. Nope. Gonna have to use so what I think I'm doing is I'm gonna kind of rinse this out here. I'll do it off camera. I'll just do it with a filter quick, and I'll store that filter for later, so we might lose a very little amount, but I would expect my my liquid, my distilled water, to look like this if we had, if we had any remnants in there. So I think we're okay in that department. If we're going to lose any, it's going to be very minimal. So let's get this out of the way for now. Don't need that. And turn the hot plate off, and let's focus on this. Go ahead and turn this off. Got to do a couple taps. There's always a drop or two that loves to hang on to that. We'll get that in here. Let's rinse this beaker out, or this flask out nicely. And then I'll do a fast forward because I imagine this video is getting kind of long. But that's still cloudy. We can't have that. It doesn't. That doesn't work in our book. We want nice, clean solution. So in the meantime, let's see here, and we're just under 1,000, so that's always important. There's a couple of times I've I've had it just slightly over, and I go, oh, I wonder why my flask is full. Anyways, so let's get rid of this. I'll save this for now just to see what we end up with here, just to verify that this isn't completely done. So this isn't going to be like done yet. All right, time for the first filtering of, well, I can't say the first filter, but the first filtering without all of the goodies in it. How about that? That'll work for me. Let's see here. My filter is not doing what it's supposed to do though, so hold on here. There we go. Now my filter will filter. Since, I mean, that's kind of its main job here, right? Let's see how clear we can get this off the get-go. Before we, oh yeah, no, that's beautiful. I like that a lot. We'll be good after that. Time to drop our silver out. And then we'll do a test for palladium. And then we're going to go ahead and cement that out. Alright, I'd say we're filtered out really nicely here. Give the flask a little rinse. Oh, I'm hoping we got some silver in here. I am hoping. Alright, get that out of the way. Spin this around so we can actually see here. And I'm going to give you a close-up. Alright. I've got about 55 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. We're just going to pour that on, see what we can get for silver chloride. If anything at all. Ah, man. Nothing. Well, no silver. Let's see what we got here. Let me grab the scientific straw quick. See if we have any palladium. All right. We get a very, very slight color change. Very slight. Okay. Well, I may have to look back into my mess here. Let's see. This stuff, we may have to re-look into this. See what went wrong. Maybe put a little more nitric, do a couple more stirs, see if I can break some more of this stuff up. But as you can see, it's a pretty good sludge, so there's not a whole bunch of stuff that I missed. In the grinding process, anyway. Well, bummer. Alright, well, we're going to have to go back to the drawing wheel and see what went wrong. Alright, so as you can see, first go around. Don't want to say it was a fail because I picked up a lot of things that I want to try with the next one. So, first off, what I'm going to do next is, depending on how we want to go, I'm going to run them through nitric before I crush them. So what I was having the hard time with when I was crushing them was the square end pieces were kind of hiding or protecting the ceramic. So what I want to do is I want to run them through nitric. That'll get rid of all the tin and the base metals. We might pick up a little bit of precious metals. So I will verify that we're not getting any silver or palladium. I'm going to heat them up, basically just to dry them off. and then I'm going to crush them, because then I think all the metals will be gone. All the protective metals will be gone. We'll be stuck with a bunch of ceramic, and we may even lose some of the ceramic. It may dissolve, not dissolve, but turn into dust or powder, and then we're going to grind it. So that's what I'm going to do with my the first step next go around. There's a couple other things we can do if you want to try them, if you want to see where we go. So I've got quite a bit of these MLCCs to play with. So if there's like for example, I can separate magnetic and non-magnetic. So I figured everybody who's collecting these, they just put them in the bag. So that's kind of how I wanted to do this first refining was, okay, we've got a bag full of MLCCs that we've been collecting. Actually, somebody sent me those, so I can't say I did that hard work. Somebody else did that hard work. So thank you so much for giving me all this content. We'll find it. We'll find the precious metals. Anyways, if you want to see me do like non-magnetic versus magnetic, see if we can separate them that way maybe. But like I said, I also want to check that dust after grinding. So I'll sift all that stuff off, just that fine powder, and we'll do a refining on that, just to verify if the precious metals are hiding in there or not. Because if they're not hiding in there, there isn't any precious metals. We're probably going to have to do that on a couple different occasions. So I might have to, if you guys want to see magnetic and non-magnetic, I might do magnetic dust, non-magnetic dust, just to verify that we're not losing anything. Because I imagine there's going to be some kind of metals that get exposed with that first dissolve. But we got a little bit to play yet. First experiment, just breaking the ice, right? Got to break the ice. So now we know where to start. So let me know if you want to see anything in specific, or anything specifically when it comes to these MLCCs. But the next go around is going to be 100. And I'm going to separate the powder and the non-powder. And we're going to go refine the powder, and then we're going to refine the base metals after, or the metals that are left. Hopefully not base metals. Hopefully we get some silver, and hopefully we get some palladium. Palladium would be nice. I mean, hey, SilverStoll here. I love silver, but I mean, palladium is kind of the same color as silver, right? So, I mean, we can make some exceptions. It's like the spicy version of silver, right? You've got like silver kind of, I don't want to say mayonnaise because that's kind of insulting, right? But, you got palladium, that's like the jalapenos. It's got, the price tag that comes along with it. A little spicier. Anyways, so let me know what you want to see. But I do have a couple ideas that I want to do. So if I don't hear too much, that's kind of be the route that I go. So yeah, keep me posted. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, before I go, last chance. Today is Thursday. So if anybody wants to get in for tomorrow's video, I haven't gotten a lot of stuff yet. So it may be just, I think I've got some mail coming either today or tomorrow that I'm going to open up. So it might be a mail call day. But yeah, send me some pictures, send me some goodies, and we'll get that shown for you. All right. Thanks, guys.